The U.S. and Israel now moving to phase 2 of Operation Epic Fury, shifting the focus to eliminating Iran's missile program.
So this comes as the Israeli military begins another broad wave of attacks as they fight a two-front war against Iran and Hezbollah.
I kind of feel they're welcoming the opportunity to fight Hezbollah. Chief foreign correspondent Trey Yingst joins us live from Tel Aviv with the latest on a new attack on Ayatollah Khamenei's underground bunker in Tehran. Trey.
Yeah, Brian, good morning. We're learning that the Israelis last night launched a new wave of strikes against the Iranian capital of Tehran, using around 50 fighter jets and 100 munitions to strike a bunker that Iran's former supreme leader had planned to use. You can see in some of this video some extensive explosions taking place there in the Iranian capital. We understand that he was above ground, actually, when he was killed over the weekend. Now, today, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is holding different security assessments with top officials here as this war continues, approaching 1 week. The Israelis are still taking a variety of incoming fire with cluster munition and ballistic missiles soaring through the skies of this country overnight. As that meeting was taking place, there were more sirens sounding, and last night you can see some of these missiles that were flying through the air of Tel Aviv. Many of them overshot their targets and landed in the Mediterranean Sea. The Israelis going after some of these launching positions last night, striking 6 different ballistic missile launchers. And today, Israel's Chief of Staff, Eyal Zamir, is making new statements about the war.
I am in continuous contact with my American counterparts, including the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States, General Dan Kane, and the Commander of CENTCOM, Admiral Brad Cooper. We are fighting based on shared interests and values. In this war, shoulder to shoulder, they are true friends. Through coordinated action, we are stripping the regime of its military capabilities and bringing it to strategic isolation and a point of weakness in which it has never been before.
The Israelis are looking east, but they're also looking north as the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah launches new attacks over the border. They've been striking the southern Dahya neighborhood in Beirut quite heavily, with new strikes even in the last hour. This was the 26th round of strikes that they have launched against this Iranian proxy in Lebanon. There are many civilians that have evacuated the southern Dahya neighborhood, and one of them is speaking out about what they heard.
They threatened the Daya area, so we packed our things and left. Everyone left Daya. Now we're living a tragic life here, displaced. It's a miserable life. You know what it's like.
We expect these strikes to continue against Hezbollah as the group is threatening to launch strikes deeper into Israel. Yesterday, there were multiple times where the Iranians and Hezbollah launched joint attacks against this country. Brian?
So, Trey, is there a sense, I mean, the Israelis have to take care of Hezbollah, and when they started this fight, that was the opportunity. But is there a sense that the Iran war effort is paying a price for the Hezbollah focus? Are Israel taking assets away from the Iran fight to do this in Lebanon?
There's such a high level of coordination. There were plans in place for this very scenario. And so the Israelis so far don't appear overwhelmed with their Air Force capability. They can fight on multiple fronts at the same time, as we've seen in the past. But we do know there is significant coordination even on the ground. A source earlier this week told me that in Northern Command in Israel, there's actually an American office. And so there are U.S. representatives on the ground, again, to help the Israelis with this targeting campaign against Hezbollah.
Hey, Trey, will you tell us more about that bunker? Was anyone killed, the bunker where the Ayatollah was planning on hiding?
So Fox News is getting some new exclusive information about the strikes overnight and about this specific bunker. A senior Israeli official telling Fox News that at the time of the strike, when Operation Epic Fury began, when the Ayatollah Khamenei was actually killed, he was above ground. He did not go into this bunker. And that is why the Israelis were able to kill him, in part because he didn't think that he was going to be targeted. And there was a deception campaign, I am told by a senior Israeli official, to make the Iranians think that this attack wasn't even going to begin. Despite the fact that there were planes in the air, The inner circle of the Ayatollah didn't think to get him underground. And part of this deception campaign was coordinated directly at the highest levels between the Americans and the Israelis, I'm told. One official says that the top commanders here in Israel that normally would be at the Kiryat, Israel's version of the Pentagon, went home for Shabbat dinner with their families. And there were a number of posts that were made and statements by President Trump in the 24 hours leading up to the beginning of this operation. All of this meant to deceive Iranian leadership. And this official says the result was exactly what planners had hoped for. Khamenei stayed above ground, and the opening strike of Operation Epic Fury found him right there. Guys?
So, Trey, can I go back to where Brian was when we're talking about Lebanon? Are they welcoming Israel in? Because we already heard them tell the proxies to stand down. Don't get involved in this. So now are they welcoming Israel in to destroy this terror organization?
So I want to give you a little bit of background on Lebanon first. I've reported on the ground in Beirut a number of times in the past, and it's a city that's divided, but it's also a country that is divided. There's the Christian population in Beirut, and they are centered around the northern part of Beirut. In the southern Dakhia neighborhood, this is where you have the Shia Muslims, the supporters of Hezbollah, and then further south, closer to the Litani River as well. And so we've heard actually this week from Lebanon's prime minister, who is calling on Hezbollah to stand down. Yesterday, the Lebanese government announced that they would arrest anyone with ties to Iran's IRGC. And this is a massive shift in posture than we had seen. Had we reported this to you a year ago, people wouldn't have taken it seriously. The Lebanese government was allowing Hezbollah to infiltrate into their ranks. But President Trump sent Tom Barak and Morgan Ortagus and others to the region and basically told the Lebanese government, if you support Hezbollah, the entirety of Lebanon is going to pay the price. And they listened, and they're continuing to listen to President Trump. And so you have a situation on the ground where the Israelis are going after these Hezbollah strongholds, but they're not striking other parts of Beirut. They are focusing on southern Beirut in the Dakhia neighborhood. They are moving ground forces into defensive positions in areas in the south of Lebanon. And they're also striking the Bekaa Valley, where Hezbollah stores many of their missiles and rockets. And so at this point, the Lebanese government is welcoming the ability to rid Hezbollah of their influence in the country. And we understand there's coordination behind the scenes to ensure that these statements remain strong, that Hezbollah knows they have no place in Lebanon, and that ultimately the Lebanese people are going to pay a price if they continue to attack.
Huge.
Yeah, very interesting. Thanks, Trey.
So interesting that some of these cities, these are cities where, I mean, a lot of people here in New York that are from Lebanon, they say how wonderful Beirut is and what a wonderful city is. Same, different areas. Yeah, used to be, and now it's not safe to go.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling